Hello, friends. It has been a minute since I've sat down and recorded something. It's been a minute since I've sat down at my computer in general. Honestly, I've just. Mm, life. Long story short, life and mental health. But, we're doing it. We're persevering. We're doing the thing. We're doing what needs to be done. And by doing that, I figured that something that would be smart to do would be to do something that brings me joy. And I have, I get joy from sitting here and just doing these stupid little things. Why does stuff always happens like 9 times out of 10, my phone silence, nothing, and then I finally sit down and record, and everybody wants my attention. Anyways, no offense to them, I love them. They're yeah. Anyways, but yeah, no. What was I saying? Oh yeah, whatever. Just been feeling down in the dumps. Just been ignoring my life by shoving my noses in books. So I just it's been a while, and obviously, fun fact, I got the camera that I'm currently using. I got that for my birthday this past year. You want to know how many times I've used it? Surprisingly, about 5 to 6 times. Do you want to know how many things involving the camera that you guys have seen? None. So, I guess this is technically the first time of you all seeing my new camera. And hopefully it looks a lot better. From my screen, it looks a little dark, but I also know I keep my screen a little dark. So, whatever. If it's dark, turn up your brightness. I don't know what to say. But yeah, no. Anyways, I've been trying to do this for the past few days, to be completely honest, and then, you know, my brain started telling me that I was a dumb, stupid idiot who was not worth anything, and then, just other distractions. But today I cleaned up what felt like 3 pounds of cat puke, and I, finally got to recording. So, I guess that's pretty much just been life. There has not been much to it, to be honest. I've had so many topics and things that I've written down and typed in my notes that I wanted to talk about on other episodes of this, but I just I don't know. I haven't it's also difficult for me to record because one, I live in a shithole. Two, um my AC is extremely loud, and if you're not in one of the rooms, it can be picked up. It can be picked up on almost anything. And three, I have a partner. Our walls are paper thin. He's very loud, even when he doesn't mean to be. So, things it just sometimes it's just difficult for all the stars to align. But hopefully everything goes well, and hopefully this looks okay. It looks good here. It maybe seemed like there was a little bit of delay, so hopefully the video and the audio match, but yeah, I don't know. Speaking of mental health, I know that my skin looks a little rough. Honestly, you probably can't tell with whatever this camera has going. It's mostly just texture. I have so many tiny bumps on my forehead. Hey, I'm in my luteal phase, so I'm breaking out, eating everything in sight, and crying, so please be nice to me. Have I also worn these pajamas for the last 3 nights in a row? Yes, mind your business. When my mother said, my mother used to do this, like wear pajamas for multiple nights in a row. And I never understood, why. And then she told me when I finally asked her, as children do, we ask dumb questions. And I was like, why do you rewear your pajamas? And she was like, when you're an adult and you're washing your own laundry, you're gonna get it. And she ate with that, because unless I am waking up in a pool of my sweat, hey, I'm wearing pajamas for the same 2 to 3 days. I'm only wearing them consciously for maybe 3 hours, and then sleeping for maybe six. And like I said, if I'm not waking up in a pool of sweat, if they don't, if I didn't wake up in a pool of sweat and they don't smell like ass, hey, I'm gonna wear them again. I really, hey. It's only been 9 minutes, and 3 of that was probably a phone call. Oh my god, I'm losing. This is what happens when I come into things with no like ideas, no topics. I just sit here, and then I have to edit out freaking a total of 4 minutes of me sitting here in silence like this, trying to think of different things to talk about. And yes, I know I have thin spots on the side of my head. Hey, shut up. I have 4 strands of hair. And I also just took a shower, so it's wet and clumping together. Dude, speaking of wet hair and sweating and smelling like ass, hey, we're in the middle of essentially a heat wave here in Georgia, and my god, it is unbelievably hot outside. Like, you know when you're watching like movies and stuff and they for some reason the setting turns into like the Louisiana Bayou and they do like that bluegrass like thing that just yeah, that's what when I open the door to go outside, that's what I hear. That's the sound I hear. And let me tell you, yesterday I came home from work, and sometimes my partner and I will turn off our AC if it feels good in here, because sometimes our AC unit and how loud it is can be extremely overstimulating. And also, if it feels good, sometimes we're just gonna sit there and pop open a window. Well, he took a nap, turned off the AC, popped open a window. Hey, when I got home, it was 86 degrees in here. What the what the hell? I literally felt like I walked into a terrarium. I wanted to I walked in, immediately wanted to shed my skin. Hey, why is the hallway cooler than why is our hallway with no active AC cooler than what it is in here? Hey, what? And then he just wakes up and he goes, "Oh, my bad." Turns around and rolls over. Hey, how are you sleeping like this? But to be fair, he can sleep like anything. In anything. I was worried I was gonna come on here and just like cry about my mental health, but I think I got all my tears out yesterday. Did I cry myself to sleep? Yeah. Did my partner come in and tell me goodnight and ask me what was wrong and I didn't tell him? Yes. Anyways, in good news, I got tickets to see Dan and Phil in October. Yes. Me and Maddie are gonna go together again. And dude, let me tell you, I was the ticket purchaser in this scenario. And my asshole clenched. You couldn't get nothing through that thing, okay? It was my asshole was so unbelievably clenched because I got in line and it said there were almost 2,000 people in front of me. Hey, what? Mind you, tickets went on sale at noon. I clicked on the website at noon. And I was in the waiting room for about 7 minutes. By the time I got in, hey, there's a handful of seat lefts. What? That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy. Because during the last tour, which I believe was Interactive Introverts. Was that Interactive Introvert? No. Terrible Influence, that's what it was. The most recent one was before this was Terrible Influence. And I didn't buy the Terrible Influence tour tickets until way later in the afternoon and still managed to get seats on the floor. I was in the waiting room. I was there when tickets went live. And the sales went so crazy, the only seats available were on the upper level. What? And Maddie made a joke. She was like, Pop Crave shouldn't have tweeted about the tour. Hey, I agree. You want to know why? Because everybody who needed to know about the tour already knew about it. But no, I am extremely excited because obviously big news has happened within the last year with them. They, you know, if you know, you know. But I'm also just excited. They always put on a good show. This will be my 3rd time seeing them, I believe. So when I was in middle school, I went to Terrible Influence, and now I'm going to this one. So yeah, I'm super excited. They always put on such a good show. They're always so entertaining and so comforting. And yeah, they've meant so much to me for a very long time, and are part of the reason why I do things like this as well. Because one, I don't have a lot of friends. I have a small group of friends that I will admit to, but outside of that, hey, I don't have a lot of friends. So, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't go out much, and I know that as someone who suffers from poor mental health and mental illness and thousands of other things, it is very they've helped me through a lot of things, whether they know it or not. And I know that sounds ridiculous to say, but sometimes when you're feeling down and, just one single person saying something funny that brings a smile to your face, that forces your brain to release, those happy chemicals, it really can and does mean a lot. So, I this is part of the reason why I do what I do. I've been in the audience perspective of feeling like absolute shit and coming home and turning on something and being like, wow, they made my day better. So I want to make other people's days better. Whether it's two of you, 200, 2,000 of you, I really don't care. As long as it's one individual person whose day gets made because of something I said or did, it that would mean a lot to me. Did I already talk about how I felt like I had to clean up 3 pounds of cat puke before I started? Like, why do they do that? Why do you eat so fast to the point where you make yourself sick? So then I have to clean up after you. And now you're meowing at me for food and scratching at me and biting me for food because now your tummy's empty. Hey, slow down. Why do I have to buy a slow feeder for my cat? Hey, what? That's ridiculous. Cats and a slow feeder. Not to mention the slow feeder that I have in my cart. It looks like a rose. Which also means it looks like something else. Why does my cat need to eat out of a coochie bowl? Pussy bowl for the pussy, I guess. Like, what? I cannot believe I just said that. Dude, it has been so long since I've sat here and talked to you guys. It's ridiculous. Hey, I found out I'm gonna be an aunt. What? Oh my gosh, I'm genuinely so freaking excited. Don't get me wrong. If I see my sister's baby daddy, it's on sight. But that little boy, yes, she's having a little boy, but that little boy that's currently growing in her tummy, oh my god, he means the world to me. And he's not even born yet, he's not even here yet, and he already means the freaking world to me. Not to get all emotional, and I really hope my sister doesn't watch this because if she's still pregnant when she sees this might make her cry. But, last night when I was really, like, in my depressive episode, it was just one of those moments where you go down the rabbit hole of, like, do I matter to anyone? All those thoughts. All of those thoughts. And then I thought about him. And I was like, oh, this is a new thing. Oh. And, I started to have those thoughts of like, well, I have to meet him. I'm so excited. I have to see him grow up. And I've seen these TikToks recently of like people being like, being an auntie has been a part of my healing journey. And I was like, I can definitely understand that because obviously it's a little person who gives you more reason to live. But last night was really like one of the things that punched me in the gut. And like I said, if my sister or even my mom, if you're watching this, please don't cry. Sorry. But, I can't wait to see what else that little guy does for me. He's not even here yet and he's already changing my life. And I am so unbelievably excited. I have been waiting for this moment of becoming an aunt for so freaking long. And baby boy should be here in December. And best Christmas gift I could ever ask for. I am so unbelievably excited. I have already bought things, stuff like that. I'm putting together my sister's baby shower. Um, yeah, so lots of things like that. And it's so funny because I'm sitting there trying to plan her baby shower, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have never planned an event before. Hey, what? What am I supposed to do? And it's so funny that I'm sitting here stressing over a baby shower while my sister is literally carrying a child about to be a first time mom. And we're probably having the same thoughts of, hey, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. But yeah, no, that should be exciting. And, obviously I'll talk about the little guy. I probably won't show the little guy because hey, there's weirdos out there. But yeah, no, I'm beyond excited to meet him and things like that. It still it still doesn't feel real, I guess. And maybe that's also just because my sister's pretty early on and she's not showing yet. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm in the in between stages of it feeling real and it not. But yeah, that's pretty much my big life update that doesn't have as much to do with my life. I guess I don't really have much else to say. I mean, my life hasn't been that exciting. I'm still getting the hang of doing this in general, and it's been about 20 minutes. Nowhere near close to an hour, but hey, we're working up to there. You gotta get a little bit more comfortable on the camera. You gotta get used to things flowing. You have to make sure to write down your topics, and hey, those are things I don't do yet. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be all for this episode. Um, Hopefully the next one doesn't take so long to come next. But hey, if you liked hanging out, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.